Let me first start this segment with saying that I am a huge fan of Cam Newton. I have been a fan of Cam Newton since he was at Auburn. And I will go down, and I've always said this, that he is one of the greatest college basketball players college football players we've ever seen. What Cam Newton did at Auburn is damn near unlike anything we've ever seen. And coming into the league, Cam Newton was one of the most electrifying players we've ever seen in the NFL. So I am a huge fan of Cam Newton. Huge fan. I think Cam Newton is I will go down saying, if you look at the numbers, Cam Newton could be in the Hall of Fame one day. Maybe not first ballot, I don't know, but could be in the Hall of Fame. But in my fandom, in me watching sports, it would not be fair to you guys if I'm not honest about Cam Newton. At least this iteration of Cam Newton. You see, Cam Newton put out a video pretty much saying there's not 32 quarterbacks better than Cam Newton. And he's seeing a bunch of, quote, randoms get jobs. Cam Newton was not on a NFL team in 2022. In fact, he hasn't had a touchdown since 2021. Cam Newton hasn't thrown over 3,000 yards since 2018. Cam Newton hasn't been to the playoffs since 2017. I don't know if people know this, but it's 2023. Let me give you my biased opinion. My biased opinion is I think Cam Newton is still good enough to be a quarterback in this league. A starting quarterback, I don't know, but still a quarterback in the NFL. I do think when you look at some teams, he is good enough to be their backup in a lot of hell. Look at the Washington Commanders. I don't know about Sam Howell, and no offense to Sam Howell, but Cam Newton might be better than Sam Howell right now. Even though he was really good last year, I think Cam Newton can possibly be better than Brock Purdy. What I'm saying is I think Cam Newton still has a lot left, or has some left in the tank. I will say that. That is my biased opinion. My biased opinion is Cam Newton is absolutely right. There is not 32 people better than him, and he is good enough to be a serviceable quarterback. And he's good enough to, especially if you have an entire offseason to learn a playbook, if you have an entire offseason where you don't have to rehab, because people don't know, rehab and training are two completely different things. Training is you're getting yourself ready for the season. Rehab is you're working to heal an injury. You're not necessarily training, you're rehabbing. So you get a full off season to learn a playbook and to learn an offensive scheme, to learn a system. And then, of course, you don't have to rehab. I think Cam Newton still has stuff left in the tank. That's my biased opinion. But let me give you to give you my biased opinion means I have to give you my unbiased opinion. And my unbiased opinion is simple. Cam Newton has not shown that he's good enough to be a starting quarterback in this league anymore. And he also hasn't shown the ability to be a serviceable backup quarterback. Now, when I say serviceable, I don't mean talent. Because talent, yes, he is definitely a backup quarterback. But when you come with a lot of noise and you come with a lot of distraction, and I'm not saying he's a distraction, but that's the title that's kind of been pegged. Not saying bad distraction as far as, he does off the field stuff or he's a cancer or anything. No, people say that there's people bigger than their position. And Cam Newton would be the most popular backup quarterback in the league. By far. Hell, the Jacoby Brissett. I don't even know the backup quarterback's name for the Carolina Panthers right now. I don't know the starting quarterback either, but I don't know the backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is it still Mitch Trubisky? I don't know the backup quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't even know their starting quarterback, but I don't know. Wherever Cam Newton goes, you know his name. And you know the first sign of adversity, the first sign of the starting quarterback looking not so good, you know what you're going to hear. See, Cam Newton should be starting. No organization wants to deal with that. And again, I just said Cam Newton has not thrown for 3,000 yards, which is pretty much like standard at this point if you want to be considered a top tier quarterback. He has not thrown more than 3,000 yards since 2018. Yes, I would love to see Cam Newton. In fact, now, of course, a lot of this was plagued by injury. Don't get me wrong. And I talked about this a little bit with Ezekiel Elliott. Cam Newton has never really had the accuracy. Cam Newton never really has polished or refined his game. His game has always been on speed and brute force. Yeah, well, kind of like what we're seeing with Russell Westbrook, kind of like what we're seeing with John Wall. Once that deteriorates, what is your second win? What can you lean on? And Cam Newton hasn't really shown anything to lean on. By the way, and I love Cam Newton. Cam Newton is one of my favorite players ever. Cam Newton hasn't thrown or had more than 10 touchdowns since 2018. Now, you can say, you see how Cam Newton looked before COVID, and then after COVID, he just didn't look good. Yes, that's true. But we'll never know. Well, I'm not going to say we'll never know. I did see Shannon Sharpe said something. And I like Cam Newton's response because it showed professionalism, even though I do hate that. I absolutely hate how Cam Newton be typing in that font, but teach his own. But I did respect his response. He was pretty much saying, some of the facts that you said, Shannon Sharpe, were true. Just give me a shot, give me a full off season, we'll see. And I respect that. It kind of shows that he's serious about what he's talking about. But right now, unbiased opinion, because if it was me, I would. And I'm someone like the Commanders, or if you're not going to go for Lamar Jackson, which it kind of seems like you're not doing, go get Cam Newton. That's me. I may not be the smartest GM, but that's me. But unbiased, man, Cam Newton hasn't shown to be a serviceable quarterback since 2018. Since 2018. And Cam Newton's numbers year after year after year are on a decline. His best year outside of 2015, his best year was his rookie year. Yeah. Now his best the last year he looked like something, like he looked like he was still Cam Newton, was 2018. He started 14 games. He had 3,395 yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Damn, he was sacked 29 times. Yeah. So all I'm saying, man, I'm always gonna root for Cam Newton. I always, want the best for Cam Newton. I think that Cam Newton can still be a really good quarterback in this league. But you're gonna have to show something that you have not shown pretty much your entire career, and that is the ability to lean on something outside of your physical God-given talents, which decrease year after year after year with the amount of times that you've been hit and with the amount of times that you've been injured. See, if Cam Newton was as good at throwing the ball as, say, I'm not even going to go as far as say Aaron Rodgers. If he was as good throwing the ball as, say, a Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, still is looking for a contract, then Cam Newton would have been in the league. There wouldn't be that much of a break. If Cam Newton can throw the ball as good as I'm not even going to go, let's say Jimmy G, and still have all the attributes that come with Cam Newton would be in this league. And I'm not saying, his pro day can go, I think it was yesterday, but it can go glowing. And he could be on a team. I think that he deserves to be on a team. But I'm not the one cutting the checks. And I agree. My biased opinion says, yes, there's not 32 other team or other players or quarterbacks that's better than Cam Newton. My unbiased opinion is, while that could be true, Cam Newton has not shown that, which is why he is not currently not in the league. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.